Hi guys, what's up? This is your tech dude. Today I will explain the public IP address. The public IP address are two types: dynamic IP address and the static IP address. It is the dynamic IP address is automatically and reality of the ISP is the large pool of the internet IP address. It is to the automatically the customer has predictably they are reassigning them. It is the older IP address is the black into the pool to be the used other customers the rationalize of this approaching this the generating is the saving is the internet service provider automatically. It is the regulating of the movements of the IP addresses. It is address they are moved to home. To example, there are security benefits too because it is a change. The IP address is the make it is a hard to commit to the hackers to in your networking interface. Static IP address. This static IP address is a dynamic IP address. Static IP address is a constraint of the business and don't need to static IP address, but is the business is the plan to the their own servers and circular into the one. It is because the static IP address is the ensure that the websites and the emails and addresses to the will have to constant IP address. It is virtually the one to the devices to be able to into the constantly on the web. There are two types of web IP addresses. One is the shared IP address and another is the dedicated IP address. Websites that you are the shared hosting and planning to the website hosting provided. Typically, it is many websites are the hosted and services to be care of the individual and the volume of the management in the them slaves into the terms and the number of pages the extra website hosted into the have saved IP address. This is the shared IP address. Dedicated IP address. This dedicated IP address is the same website hosting planning to the options of the purchasing of the dedicated IP address. It is to are addressed into the SSL certified and allows to the you and run your own files into the FTP transfer protocol file transfer protocol server. It is the make into the organization allow to the autonomous file transfer protocol is sharing to the options. It is the dedicated and the IP address is also allowed way to access your websites into the IP address. It is want to build on the test of the before you registration your domain. How do IP address it is if you want to understanding this particular devices, it is the your IP address is assigning to your devices your internet service provider, where your IP address is the change the example of the functioning of the modern and router on your will be using this different and temporarily IP addresses to be internet service provider is given. The types of IP address. The types of IP addresses are the types of IP addresses the consumer IP address and private IP address, public IP address. This every individual is the business with is the internet and services and plan to will be have to two types of IP addresses are private IP address and public IP address are there. It is the instead of networking with is the public issues of the outside of the networking private IP address. It is every device is that connecting your internet and networking has to be private IP addresses is the including the smartphone and tablets and the printer speakers who was the Wi-Fi enable this connecting different IP address to generating private IP addresses that it is the Unicode identifier of the each device is different the networking different IP address. The public IP address. The public IP address is the public IP address is the primary address is associates with the whole networking with is the each content devices is to own IP addresses. It is also including is the IP addresses that providing your router by the internet service provider. Typically it is the internet provider at the large to protocols. IP address is the device outside your internet. It is the networking will also use recognized to networking. The public IP address. The public IP address is the comes two forms of the dynamic IP address and static IP address. It is the two forms is coming. Dynamic IP address is the changing automatically and regularity ISP by our large protocol. IP addresses are the. Please subscribe my TechDude channel. Please like my TechDude channel. Thanking you once again, your TechDude.